Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin and today is Friday, which means it's Book Review Friday once again. And today we have a doozy of a book. Oh my god, do we have a book to talk about? I have a feeling there are going to be very mixed opinions on this book in the comments. I think some people will love this book and some people will absolutely hate this book. So I can't wait to see the discussions in the comments because I can see it already. I can see the people being like, this is not the book for me, and I can see the people being like, yes, thank you, let me add this to my cart right now. Today we are talking about Tender is the Flesh by, I am going to mispronounce this name because I have looked for the pronunciation of this last name and I cannot find the correct pronunciation, so I am gonna try my very best to say it correctly, but please, I'm very sorry if it's wrong. Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. I am not sure, but it is in the title. You can see it on the cover here, so if you guys want to look up the book for yourselves, it's in the title. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I literally cannot find the right pronunciation. I have no idea what the correct pronunciation is. But it is Tender is the Flesh. I'm sure most of you have heard about this book. Ooh, I bet you've heard about this book. Let's talk about the cover. One, I love the colors. I love that there is a really bright pink, a bright reddish orange, and then everything else is very muted with the black and the gray. I think it's very pretty. I like the contrast here between human animal. Very interesting because the book, you know, we'll get into it. It'll make sense if you don't know what this book's about. But yeah, I just think the cover is actually very eye-catching. It's a very pretty. I'm very drawn to it, and I think it's because the brightest colors are very strong and everything else is very muted. I think that's why it catches my eye so much, but it's beautiful. I love the cover. Okay, let's get into my synopsis and then my overall thoughts on this book. A mysterious virus has caused all animal meat to be deemed not safe for human consumption. So as an alternative, they decide to turn to human flesh. Humans are being mass-produced, slaughtered, and sold as special meat. Of course, no one refers to them as humans. All mentions of cannibalism is taboo. Labels and titles are given to the humans to disconnect the idea that they are eating humans. For example, the humans that are slaughtered are called heads. That way, any association to the idea that they're human is not there. Marcos, the main character, remembers the day of slaughtering animals. His dad owned a slaughterhouse, so he grew up in the business. His skills are extremely needed, but in a slightly different way. He's in the business of slaughtering humans, not animals. And he just tries to disconnect the fact that he's killing humans. He pretty much just sees it as a job that he has to get done and do what he has to do. Marcos's personal life is kind of falling apart. His wife has left him because of a tragic event that occurred, and his father is suffering from dementia. However, one day Marcos is given a gift, and that gift is a head, or one of the humans that is slaughtered for meat. After this gift, things take a turn. Things take a turn. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you about the plot of this book. Let's get into my thoughts and opinions, which, you know, I'm still kind of processing this book, but I have some thoughts. And first, wow. That's pretty much one word that sums up the entire experience I had reading this book. It's just wow. Now, I'm actually very fascinated by cannibalism, and I think it's because I find it very repulsive. I find it utterly disgusting that someone could eat another human being and find it to be good, delicious, I guess. Oh, that sounds really gross. And I make it a priority to read anything that has to do with cannibalism because I think it's that shock factor. It's a very shocking topic. It's very taboo. It's very frowned upon. Like, it's a frowned upon idea. So when you hear that someone's engaging in cannibalism, it's shocking, and that's the only word I can come up with. It's just not normal. So I'm very drawn to it in fiction, not in real life, obviously, but in works of fiction, movies, books, I just find it very fascinating. And I knew immediately I was going to have to read this book when I knew it was about cannibalism. And honestly, I'm not disappointed in it. I'm not. I also want to state for the record that I am not a vegan. I am not a vegetarian. I am a meat eater. I eat very little amounts of meat. I primarily eat chicken most of the time. I don't eat a lot of meat in general. I'm not big on meat. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to eat meat the same way I used to eat meat. I really think when I eat a piece of meat, I'm going to be thinking about this book for a very, very long time because I feel like this book is gonna live inside my brain. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be very quiet. I won't think about it every day, but as soon as I go to pick up a piece of meat, it's gonna just spring into action and alarm bells will sound and be like, ding, ding, ding. You remember Tender as the Flesh? Do you remember that book? How do you feel while eating that piece of meat right now? I just have a feeling this is going to happen to me for a very long time now. Also, it makes me really not want to eat meat, actually, like at all. And I don't really even eat meat, but it makes me want to never eat meat again. So I think it's pretty obvious that the idea of this book is making a bigger statement about animals and factory farming, hunting for sport, etc. There are very clear indications that this book is trying to make a point about the way we treat animals, and I completely get it, and I think that the idea is to shock you with humans and cannibalism to show you how crazy these ideas are when you put humans in the position of the animals. And I think that idea works very well. I'm sure other people have very differing opinions on that, but I think the point was made clearly and concisely. I think putting humans in the place of animals really did the job. I think it worked very well, even if it was gross and really disturbing to read. I think it makes the point and it gets the point across very, very well. It's a shocking book. It's meant to shock you. It's going for the shock factor. That is what this book is all about. It's about the shock factor, and I know that a lot of people are probably not going to like that. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's totally fine, but it is supposed to be a hard book to read. It's not supposed to be easy and, you know, simple and not make you think. That's not what this book is about. It's supposed to be a hard read. It's supposed to be shocking. It's supposed to disturb you. That's the idea, and I think it does the job. I see where the author was going. I get it. I think it was done very well. Others may not agree, but I think it was done very well. I honestly didn't think I was going to like this book when I started reading it. I had all this hype thrown at me. All these people were talking about this book. Everyone was giving it 5 stars. Everyone was putting it on their best or favorite of 2020 list, and I was getting nervous because when people have that much hype around a book, it usually doesn't happen for me. I don't feel the same way. Typically why I don't listen to reviews all the time, or I actually choose to read books with a lot of bad reviews, is because I don't tend to agree with the majority. Not all the time, sometimes I do. It just depends, but I know with a lot of more well-known books that are hated or loved, I tend to have the opposite opinion. Not always, but sometimes. So when a book has a lot of hype, it makes me nervous because I have a lot of expectations for it. I have a lot resting on this book. When there's so much hype around a book, I build up my hype as well. And so if it doesn't live up to the hype, then I become disappointed. So I was a little nervous because I was scared that this book wasn't going to live up to the hype. And when I started reading, I was a little iffy. I don't know. The first few pages I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna like this. It's kind of meh. It just didn't feel like anything. But then things started picking up pace and things started happening and I was just flabbergasted. I was like, never mind. I have to finish this. I am hooked. I read it in one sitting. It consumed me. I had to know what was going to happen, and I think that's a really good book when it consumes you. The beginning was a little iffy for me, but I think that was just me being nervous that the book wasn't going to be up to par. Now, I'm gonna give a trigger warning. Some people don't like trigger warnings. I get that, but I have to mention this because it was horrible for me to read. There is a scene with puppies. I'm not gonna say anything more than that, but it is descriptive, it is violent, it is horrific. The scene is about, I would say, 2 pages long, and it made me cry. I literally had tears streaming down my face, and my dog was in my lap. She was sleeping, and all I could do was set the book down and literally hug her because I don't do well with animal cruelty. I don't do well with reading it. Sometimes if it's very quick and very minimal, I'm okay, but this was, it was not great. It wasn't great, and I understand why the scene was there. I think it was a scene that was meant to send a message, and I get it, but that does not mean that I liked it in there. I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. It made me sad. I cried, and I didn't like it. So just be warned, if you don't do well with animal cruelty, there is a section with puppies, and it's not good. If I haven't made it pretty clear, this book is graphic. It is dark. It's about cannibalism. And if that is something you don't like, I wouldn't read this, because the entire book, beginning to end, is going to be about cannibalism and eating people. It's a lot. It's gross, it's disgusting, it's gruesome, it's messed up. It gives you the skin crawlies, it makes your stomach churn, it makes you feel all those emotions when you see something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So if that is not something you enjoy, please don't pick this book up. I mean, seriously, like, don't pick it up. Don't pick it up if this is not something you are into. It is not for the weak-stomached, you know, and I'm pretty weak-stomached. I don't like graphic, you know, things like that about like eating things. That makes me want to throw up. But I didn't find it to be that bad. I mean, what is that bad when you're reading a whole book about cannibalism? But I didn't find it to make me want to puke or anything like that. But it was pretty nasty. It was, some parts are worse than others, but it's gross. The craziest and most disgusting, disturbing parts for me was when you got to go through the process of the slaughtering. So it was very detailed, and you know, I just didn't love hearing about how the humans were killed and then cut up. You know, that's not something that I wanted to visualize in my head, but unfortunately those are the visuals I was given. Other than the slaughtering process, the second part that I found very disturbing was the eating of the meat. Every time someone was eating meat, it was so gross. It was just gross to see these people devour humans so readily. it was just so normal. I don't know, it's the idea that they literally had no other option but to eat humans, that just seems a little ridiculous to me. It was just the fact that it all seemed so normal to them. There wasn't even a bat of an eyelash. It was just like, yeah, I'm eating a human, not a human, whatever, a head. I'm eating not human, but it's a human. It's just these people acted like because they didn't call them humans that they weren't eating human flesh. Newsflash, you're still eating human flesh even though you don't call it humans. Like, come on. The ending, oh, the ending. I didn't see it coming, and that really, it was a jaw-dropping ending. I swear to you, I finished the book and I flipped the page expecting there to be more, and when it was blank, I just kept flipping. I was like, I missed something. I had to have missed something. You're kidding me. This is it. This is the ending. I feel betrayed by the ending. I feel betrayed. I feel bamboozled. I feel shocked, and I'm still reeling from it, to be honest. It's a jaw-dropping ending. So that's all I'm going to say on that. If you're fascinated by cannibalism, if you like the dark, you like the disturbing, you like the gruesome, you like the nasty, definitely give it a read. I think it's very good. I highly recommend it. It's definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. But you know, be careful. Please don't go into this thinking it's going to be a tame book. It's not tame. It's not tame in the slightest. So you've been warned. If you read it, I hope you enjoy it. And if you do read it, let me know what you think. Okay, so that's going to do it on my review of Tender is the Flesh, which I'm not going to lie to you, the name of this book now messes with me because all I think about is meat. So this was a great book. I highly, highly enjoyed it. Highly recommend. It's something. It's something, guys, okay? Please let me know if you've read this book. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read this. I have to know what you guys think. Tell me if you're gonna read this because I also want to know what you think after you read it, but just let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about makeup, horror, books, movies, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. And with that being said, I hope you guys are having a great Friday, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!